MLA Congress ki badan hakaliang persya ke ying Dorbar thawain kajala kilami jyndat no nakayeng hakasan terik unailur arajar arpuai hadien bo lampang ba medbaling do syam la ailat banra e kamat yatai lengkot short duration discussion halo ke jingdawa bonweng kam sipore ki officer pulit ki basha kendo dong keti berchet yap yu nong yalam bodem ke jengsi liet ba cheris tefil thank you hakastep khalai terik unailur arajar arpuai hadin ke jingpet jyndat nakasi basau ke sin song Dorbar sunrai hakayeng Dorbar thawan ki MLA Congress hakajialam Dr. Mukul unong ilam kaliang persya kila pynlong ya kejialang yakhi persya habar yang Dorbar thawan ringkat kijing perta pynrem ya sorkar Megalia Democratic Alliance hakajialang konrad ke sangma kum umitirang ba
Today the opposition had to walk out from the house to demonstrate our anguish and our lack of confidence on the government, the MDA government. You will recall with a sense of pride and satisfaction then that prior to 2008, how the preceding government has put all the committed effort with utmost sense of sincerity, honesty, dedication, with a whole focus on the larger good of the people and for the larger interest of the state, to generate the momentum of development and growth, and to ensure that momentum of development and growth restore peace and try to sustain peace. Today, unfortunately, all those hard work to restore peace and sustain peace, you have seen what is the prevailing situation in the state, across the state, whether it is in the state capital, whether it is in the district capitals, or whether it is in other parts of the state. The sense of insecurity prevailing, the whole instances of lawlessness, again reappearing in the state, threatening the hard-earned peace, which should have been sustained with a committed effort of the government. The irony is that the government of the day today do not have the priority set to address this most important concern, which revolves around the larger interests of the people, larger interests of the state. And today, as the opposition wanted, the response of the government and the correct stand of the government in order to instill confidence and trust among the citizens of the state, we found that the government was completely trying to stonewall such discussion, prevent such discussion in the August House. You will appreciate the fact that in our vibrant democracy, when we are in session, it is the best platform where the elected representatives are able to articulate the concerns of the people, the issues which is confronting our people on a daily basis, the issues which pose challenges towards our collective intent of joining hands in the whole story of progress and growth of the state. But as you saw today, as you witness, that the government is completely insensitive. They are probably not concerned about the need to understand the ground reality. They are completely disconnected from the ground reality as to what is happening in ground zero. And the outcome, the fallout is visible, palpable everywhere. Yesterday you have carried news regarding gunning down of one young boy with sophisticated people just in the suburbs of Tura. And just yesterday I was also sharing our concern about the regrouping of various youth and new youth joining some of the new militant outfits, being supported by many of the existing insurgent outfits of the region. What do all these developments that has unfolded in the preceding months, preceding years indicate? Therefore, friends, today as we wanted the government's attention and to urge upon government to take course correction so that we are able to decide on wherever it was necessary for government to reconsider whatever decision they have taken. We have seen from the day one, after the unfortunate incident on the 13th of August and subsequently after 15th of August, how the Chief Minister himself has been adamant on his stand because he is disconnected with the ground realities and because he is disconnected with the kind of usual, the administrative prudence which one has to resort to in addressing these kind of sensitive issues. Now, when we have discussed about this issue yesterday, well, you have heard how the government stand was. But today, the issue which was tabled by the honorable member from Maulai, our colleague, PT Sokni, was that based on what is doable as per the administrative prudence to demand and ensure complete independence of the inquiry that has been ordered. Now, how can the government say or be adamant in having this stand that taking action against the alleged senior officers who are involved in the alleged back encounter, suspending them to facilitate free and fair inquiry can be part and parcel of the fact which can be interpreted as sub judice in the floor of the House. Therefore, we only could interpret that the government was hell-bent on not responding to the sentiments of the people, to the ground realities, and act upon to ensure the justice that the voice of the people are asking for. So we condemn the attitude of this government, and with this, the opposition decided to walk out. See, the details of the background, I don't have. The government should have. But the fact is that I have been warning the government. I've been pressing the alarm bell since 2019. Since 2019. That there is a reason for government to wake up from deep slumber. And they were making joke out of that. You have heard them. You have heard them inside the House. You have seen them trying to aggressively engage in, their social media campaign to counter these facts which were shared to draw the attention of the government. If you have heard me well yesterday, didn't I say? Even earlier, before that one of the Ulfa leader, Drishti Rajkua, before he surrendered in South Garowe, didn't I say the same thing in the August House, preceding the news of his surrendering? That means what is happening on the ground zero we know. Why is it that the government doesn't know? Because the priority of the government is something else. We can easily conclude beyond reasonable doubt that the priority of the government, priority of the Chief Minister is not the priority which revolves around the interests of the people, which revolves around the larger interests of the state. Rather, it is on the contrary. Their priority and their focus is something which has landed up the state in this kind of precarious situation where the youth, our dear young men and women, are not seeing any sign, any ray of hope. In absence of any visible spaces of opportunities for livelihood, for career building, for entrepreneurship, for job. And this is precisely the main catalyst which is ultimately infusing the sense of frustration, lack of hope, and thereby creating a very fertile ground for militants to regroup and other forces to take advantage of this. That's why it's high time. We cannot wait. We are already late. And government should wake up, and then government refuses to wake up. What is the reason for the government and the Chief Minister to be hell-bent on protecting the senior officers? How does it help the state? And how does it affect the process of inquiry? It affects the process of complete inquiry from the perspective of free and fair inquiry. Because you know how the police organization works. When senior officers, when the point of finger is being pointed towards the senior officers, there are expected line of the course of investigation which will involve interrogation of junior officers, their subordinates. Will the subordinate police officers speak against the senior officers? Let us be very clear. Therefore, there is a need to ensure that the inquiry that is entrusted under the relevant provision of the rule for a judicial inquiry must be free from any influence from outside, free from any influence from the the senior officers of the police organization, and that is the reason why the people have appropriately echoed the same voice, and we only represent people.
Mentakasngi kedegasngi kebadan kamha yangi kibapun kikam kibapun kidengyatai kibangilawan ra sya ka Dorbar tauan hakajing sisya mentakasngi nilawan ra ya pawai ka special motion banginyatai halor kajing mamla jong kani ka sorkar pakan te rakam yo bod usam batla sisya benchet sisya benchet la sisya le ben la sisya I ben naduk ki kulit ru umdon syu bala ban ai ki jingïakhih haki jakapun jakasam ni pynrem habangi wa bat ni walam ya pawai ke discussion bangin ya kren halor ka jing don kam bat ka jing song nia ban ya tai hato kadai bat ka song hok ne em yangi bangin ya khana bangin ya kren bangin ya keli jing keli halor kajing don kam ban suspend ya ki he sorkar baro tiba la don kti ha kata kerit ke bakila le nakalia ke sorkar ha ka khatlai terik jong unai August rei hadir bau speaker ula sya ini bangin keren ya kan ya business lader have ya ka ha kata ke calendar kendet menen yo kasiti ba kawat kasiti na home minister jong sorkar banong bayang kani kakam suspension omla ban kren ha ka Dorbar tauan namar kaya tenggo bat kata ka case lani kata ka jingto kit penia ka bakila seng na ka sorkar ni ngisgo kum ka opposition ba ni dei ka sur upat ba lada upat ba ulaki ulawin lakata benai lakata tayaw halor kani ka agenda nisno bang idon kam banyo ya kata kalat banya kren wat ka sorkar ha ka Dorbar tauan ka badai ka jaka ka babit ka babyang ya kinong ya lam makin ya kren ya kano ka issue lam sya syo ini laweng sendet ya kata ka item na ka calendar but laong ba nom sya ini ban kren ngi ngau si ba mentakas ngi ka private members day kani ka sngi ka ba opposition ka ligyo ban walam madan ye ki issues ki ba kher nrai ni lahap ban no shiten for ya ka jing syong jogi ha ka Dorbar tauan mentakas ngi ban ni lamido syabar bangin kertas lia Shla persya ya kani sorkar persya ya ka jing thombor jong sorkar wat ya ka assembly ru kaba u speaker ula sya ingi ban kren ya kani balai ba ka sorkar ka hapat sa kawai ka city sya u speaker banong wat sya ani kala dei sisya ka jing thombor jong sorkar bat ngisngau balada ngim eno ya ki kam ki badon kam man ya keren mentakasi kan long ke bakla ini protes ban ni di manbek ba baro ki balaya soy ka to city baki dan kata ka jingat bahak ban suspend ya kita ki he pulit le ki he sorkar ki badon ti ha ka to berit ka khatlai tering nai August baro idi ban ya join lang ban ni namar kila soy lang ban ang bangi si kita dia ni don rengkat bat kata keding dawa ban ha eno kam sipor suspension kamut bak penduk ya kakam kembajulong kibi inquiries ka judehi ka badon kam ba itu ki badon ti lan ki basya keno badon ti dei ban eno iki sedengai dei ban belat no iki nakakam ka bat nang kata ka inquiry kan long ka betikna ngingipan pang ya kata nrei ngiyo ban da kata ka jing thombor panung sya ini ban penset iki setur ki skor ki jongi ki mat jongi ngimla kom ka seng hapan yengshem, bagi hapan dawa nakasorkar, baka dia tu ini kinongrem ayu kita. Bapimla, bapin snap, ya kita ijik kerpa, ijongi, kibangila shim, haka dorbar kauan, haka jaka kauan, haka jaka kabagkentang, reklem sya ini. Dikata kadai kedau bagina. Mino na assembly shitting for mentakasi, bat ngin ino ikikam ibadon kam banekren bat ngin siapa tuno pat nila bat day kata bat kren itu issues kibangila tu kren mentakasi.
Isim ni bakal nak jing bom syak bani type Dorbar kedah pendom susu ikpat ba.
Nani kadon jyndat
ngin kwa bangin kren le pen shit yanu. Kadeti jongi lapan kamti dikipat ba om bangin pen shit pen kloy. Ngin kwa banthe petrol hakading ke badang kalang. Tamba kani kadai kan renti sanjam ke jongi kaba hapo kaan. Nisyem ya kata kakabu ban keli ya kasorkar. Henrei ka kwa banum juba. Tinggi hakajing start jong upat ba tang kawai nakaliang jong kaliang persya jong kadorban kauan gi kerbat red gi pat ba pakinum shit dong klang namario yang mensau nrai kidon kilenti ki babon ki bagila badian dan mangiki amale atau ngilai sa surap ngilai sa lenti sa sengkin ban perta ngiwan ha kabenta kabadan hapo kajing ya dapat kajing peniat jong kaan ba ngidon kahok bangin keli namar lada mangi kinong yalam ngimtip ki ay ginong rim hato upay ba lele untip siya lada yangi kimkwa man jubab upay ba lele siya unyo kabentaban keli lada pi rit ngepim kwa mapin jubab ikin sami kijing keli kibak hapon menen hakayeng Dorbar kauan hakaway na kijing keli pangikeli kalor ka ay di plus la ni kijing patay ubang lantra day home minister dala day hi uba ay tip igi ba iba Chesterfield hongwer idon di hangta midam keli bangi day mai ibi atu ini kata Henrei haba pila penhen ya kata ka jurisdiction jongki baki la yad halor kelenti ke badang don hapo kajing tokit balai pat yangi ngikren syapang ka rezika suspension jong kita ki he sorkar nang bakan kuat kan suba kajing tokit lada piong ya tu ke yangi hakani ke benta ha ka Dorbar kauan kan ayu ini ban keli kata kajing keli